Let's talk about Destreza, the Spanish fencing style.
Okay, well, the Destreza is a theoretical method that was created in the 16th century by a Spanish gentleman and a soldier that he wanted to elevate fencing. Fencing was a common man activity, so people going to practice with fencing swords, which was blunts, okay, to have fun. And so the gentlemen were a little upset with this fact because they considered the sword part of the gentleman knowledge and activity. And so that's why he developed a theoretical method trying to prove that this was something worthy of a gentleman, that was not a common man activity. And then this guy was Jerónimo de Carranza. And then then after that, a Spanish soldier, Luis Pacheco de Narváez, was the one really developing the theoretical method as a whole, while proving in the practical side that this worked, because he was a great fencer. So actually he proved, defeating everyone, he proved that his practical method was good, was efficient, and then he developed completely the theoretical method, which, as I always say, is that like solfa for music. Okay, so it's a theory. Then how you fence, then it's something different. The practical styles depends a lot on the teacher who develops the method, and on the fencers depending on their practical skills and their own personal style.
Also, it's like you said before to me, it's like medieval fencing. Medieval fencing, they had techniques too, but now there is a theory.
No, what I mean is that fencing, we should consider fencing as a leisure activity, so there was not medieval fencing.
Leisure.
There was a fencing. In the Middle Ages, they trained for war with swords, but there is no leisure activity.
Without theory.
No, and there was no theory as well, because it's a practical thing. The theory started appearing in the 16th century in Italy and Spain, basically at the beginning. And then the Destreza is completely developed in Spain in the 17th century by Luis Pacheco de Narváez.
And tell me something other. Is it true that there were contestants, Spanish school against Italian school, to see which school is better?
The schools actually face each other at the end of the 17th century in southern Italy, because Spain was ruling southern Italy at the time. So the Spanish that went there had to, when fencing, they fence against Napolitans and Sicilians fencers, and then both schools actually fence one against the other and influence each other. Basically, from the practical point of view, is basically very similar and not the same. We will never know, but when you see the treatises and you compare the drawings, and you see that actually they explain it. I mean, there are an Italian fencing teacher saying, this is what the Spanish call movimiento de conclusión, and he draws it. And this is exactly the thing that we do nowadays, and body mechanics are body mechanics. So when you make the movimiento de conclusión, that is, for example, this is I come here, and I do this, well, you can see this drawn in an Italian treatise, just like that. And obviously, there are other ways to do it. Okay, I could do it standing. Okay, so he comes, and then I do it standing. Okay, I'm changing the footwork, but that doesn't change anything, because the practical style, I don't know how they did it. I know how I do it and how he does it, and then everyone changes the way he performs it depending on the physical skills, the practical skills, but in the end it's the same thing. So basically I think you can sum up that the Italian practical fencing and Spanish practical fencing, given that they use the same sword, basically the same sword, is basically the same in the practical point of view. It's different in the theory. The Spanish, just an example, for example, this technique, okay, it's called incatenata in the Italian school and cuarto de círculo in the Spanish. Is it different? No, it's the same. It's just the name is different. They call, when he comes here, when I find it here, he sends me out, this is an atajo in Spanish and an attacco in Italian. So the only thing is that it's the Italian explain it like a technique, a single technique, while this in Spain it's a more important theoretical concept and is developed has a bigger theoretical development, but in practical implementation is the same.
I have read and see other masters fighting each other. The Italian master fought straight ahead like a toro, like a bull, and the Spanish fought in circles, moving around like a matador.
No, the thing is that fencing is fencing. So the Italian is not attacking like a mad in a straight line from long distance necessarily. When he does it, has reasons to do that. It's the same for us. When if he tries if he moves around me, for example, running da vueltas alrededor. Okay, for me it's very easy to actually answer that. For me, it's very easy. It's actually losing. It's very easy for me standing in the center of a circle to turn and to decide when to trust. While for him, it's difficult to move around because he's not getting anything from that. He's not getting closer. He's not changing distance. He's just the same distance but moving. So I have a big advantage. And no one can he can be faster in the delivery of the circle than me in the center of it. So if he moves suddenly, then because I'm faster here than him. So what happens that we don't move in circles, never. What we do is to move in angles once we get in play. So if I move like this, he always got in the play. Okay, no, so what do I do? I bind it. Then he moves, he dissipates, I can. So here I have done. So what I'm doing is going inside the circle by controlling by enemy's play. So the difference in nowadays, we don't know in the past, but nowadays the difference is that we try to look for the blade control more than modern day Italian fences that tend to fence with no blade contact. So we try to get into the moment here, okay, this is it. So what we are doing here, this we are basically fencing in the old style, because I'm not wearing a mask, so we're moving closer and higher stances. If I put a mask, we can also fence in more modern ways, which is lower stances and more straight attacks, as you can do it. In modern day, one thing is modern day fencing, one thing is trying to replicate the old styles. Now imagine that we are in 1624, as I always say. So now we fence, I cannot hit him in the face, he cannot hit me in the face, because this is against courtesy, it is dangerous. So we have to aim to the chest and fence with control. So here, that's why many of the treatises actually all the treatises are written in this context, which is not the one we have nowadays with the fencing mask. That changes. So here, we fence here. So why I say defense, because I want to defend my face and control the cat. Then here, for example, this instruction, I have control the thrust. If I continue, I hit him in the mouth. So I cannot do that. So fencing becomes a game. It's an activity for gentlemen to actually control themselves, having a good fencing skills. And then if you have to fight for real, you fight for real. That's a different thing. You cannot replicate. Even them have limitations with fencing. was not a duel. Duel is something different. Duel is wanting to kill.
And what about the terza, the fourth stance? Does the Spaniards use this more?
No, the terza is this one actually. In
Yes.
Italian. And we use this, but we use this. All the positions are possible. So here, I can here, then we have done the nails outward, and then I disengage the bind, I change. So you see the hand is moving, here the hand is moving in all possible positions because you need them to actually move swiftly. It's not that you fence like this and that's it. That's wrong. Because it's very easy to if he stands completely like this, he's lost. I mean, you can hear what he does is disengaging, moving the feet, and if he can, he will move the elbow. So if he binds on me, I will do this. So I couldn't do it like this. Okay, I step backwards and then I immediately control the center line by moving backwards, and it's about time and distance. But you can use all the parts of the body. Okay, now I was saying that, for example, this is a replica of a Northern Italian sword from 20, normally 1610, 1620, 1630, while these are replicas for the Spanish or Southern Italian style of mid-17th century.
The Spanish are shorter.
In the Southern Italian, yes, because these kind of swords are very difficult to unsheath. So it takes a long time to take this away from the sheath. And it was had this moment in Northern Italy and in Europe. It's also used in Central Europe a lot. But then, for practical reasons, the weapons were shortened because these are easier and more comfortable to carry, and also more practical for self-defense because they are more adaptable to different environments. You have a narrow alley, you have on a stairway. These very long blades are very uncomfortable.
I have heard that the killers had longer swords.
Well, it was just one of the trick that killers had. They also kill you with a knife when you were just turning the corner or things like that. So it's killing is not fancy. It just is just ways to actually kill somebody. Yeah, it's true that they use longer blades, or they could sometimes paint the end of the blade in black so when assaulting someone during the night, they couldn't see the end of the blade, and then suddenly they got hit.